Welcome to Community Cocktails with Kimberly, hosted by Kimberly Woodard, a realtor for more than 18 years with Ebby Halliday Realtors. She has received numerous awards, including Multi-Million-Dollar Producer, quarterly and annual company-wide honor roll recognition, VIP Customer Service Award for highest client ratings, D Magazine's Best Realtor, 5-Star Professional Award, and several other recognitions for her success and service to clients. Join her each week as she meets with the top community influencers to help you get to know the area you want to call home. Don't just love your home, love your community. And now, here's your host, Kimberly Woodard.
Good afternoon, viewers. I'm so excited about this segment. We're going to learn so much today about trends for 2020. Yay! Yeah. And I have Roy and Diane with Mitchell Thompson Interior Designs, and we are going to have some fun this afternoon.
Awesome.
Yes.
So welcome. Well, let's talk about, we're here for 2020. It has rolled in. And, we also, everyone's been, saying rolling 20s back again. What are we seeing in the interior world?
Start ladies first.
I think we've come to an age where anything goes almost. The way that we go into somebody's home, we really listen to the client, and we want to know what it is that they're trying to achieve for their family, their lifestyle. And so we see everything from kind of a modern, soft Southwest to a over the top traditional.
Right.
We have really edgy modern clients once in a while, and so the trend for us is kind of defined by what the client needs.
So based on their personality, kind of get to know them. And
most certainly. The other thing that we're asked is, what about mother's antique pieces?
Right.
Can we mix it in with contemporary? You most certainly can. Mm-hmm. It's by accessorizing the piece.
Yes.
And making it flow with the rest of the contemporary pieces around.
Very nice. Yeah, because you have so many of those little, they're memories, and it's, that little, item that maybe isn't so glamorous sometimes, but it means a lot to you.
Mm-hmm. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. If you saw it at the store, you'd be like, I probably wouldn't buy it, but because of the meaning behind it, you want to showcase that.
Most certainly.
Yeah. Very cool.
So one of the other things that I think we're asked to look at a lot now, especially for folks who've been in their home for a while, and they're looking to customize certain spaces, do some upgrades that maybe they're in a transition period of life. Kids are out of the house now, and so now they want to take those extra bedrooms and do some other things with them. Right. And so that's really a great creative venture, because they can be, it all depends on the client. It can be a music room, it can be an extra, really glammed out closet for mom.
Yeah.
It can be a wine room, it can be extra media, room, all kinds of ideas.
Right. So we're seeing those spaces, people recreating and making their own, individual spaces. Mm-hmm. I've even seen Zen rooms, Mm-hmm. I was in a house the other day walking through it, and they had a Zen room. It was a bedroom, but they put, a light color floor in there. It was, she had her yoga stuff. Yeah. She had her, trees that were, it was very peaceful.
Candles, sure.
Yeah, we just had somebody take their third car garage and put a 1016 wine cellar.
Oh, wow.
Divided it with glass. Uh-huh. Most of the time when you're in a wine cellar, it's 55 degrees.
Right.
So we separated the room by glass, and you had air-conditioned, controlled heat. And on the other side, you had your wine cellar, which is normally 55 degrees.
Right.
And how we start out with our wine cellars is not just a straight up and down cabinet. It's very contemporary. It's more like sculpture.
Oh, nice.
Yes, with beautiful lighting, and it's a showstopper when you bring your friends over, and it's like, oh my God.
Right.
It's not just this wood racking system. It's, just...
It's a piece of art. It's
yes,
like an art
yes,
room.
Yes.
Very cool.
Most certainly. So it shows off the bottles. You spend a lot of money on those bottles.
Definitely.
So they need to be shown off.
Well, yes. And, wine is, there's, because some of those bottles are very expensive, but it's a piece of art in some, for some people. And so it can be showcased and very beautifully.
Right.
So, very nice, very nice. And then we've got to love closets. I know that's a big trend right now that a lot of people are doing. And I think it's also, in my work, I see it with the organization, they want to be a little bit feeling more organized, so they're custom closeting. So you're seeing that with a lot of your clients, going to that next step.
Well, it was very exciting. I'm glad you brought that up. Diane and I traveled to Miami, and we found this great cabinet line that they do custom cabinetry, which is kitchens, and they do beautiful closets, integrated lighting, beautiful drawers, just the hardware alone in the closet. Amazing, especially with women and loving their shoes.
Oh, definitely. We gotta love our shoes.
Yeah, where they're all displayed and their belts and instead of just being rolled up or thrown on a hanger, there's displays for your belts and shoes, hats. Diane and I were we didn't want to leave this place. It's just awesome. And the finishes, the veneering. The other thing is, this company, they don't touch a tree.
Oh.
It's all post-consumer recycled product.
Oh,
that
very
they
cool.
Make yeah.
Very
it's really
cool.
cool.
I don't know. I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
Just wheeling that out.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
That's a really neat. And again, closets are so important, especially it's another in some people's worlds. It's their clothes are just like wine could be to some people. Their clothing is art, and so you'll walk in some of these closets and. Oh, I'm breathtaking.
Showstoppers.
Yes. I feel like I'm in, it's like a little boutique.
Yes. You
So,
just relax and stay in there.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I have a girlfriend, and I go and have champagne in hers.
Yes.
I'm like, call me later.
That's great.
That's an idea.
It is.
We need to a cooler, and
Oh, yes. Yes.
In the closet.
Within the closet.
Yes. Within the closet. Yes. Oh, yes.
Kimberly, you just gave me an idea.
It's like because when you go to a boutique, they'll serve you champagne
Right.
and everything as you shop. So why wouldn't you do that in your own personal
your home.
boutique?
Toast to that.
Yes, cheers to that. But so let's also talk about people have been in their homes, and a lot of us, we get in these ruts. And I think, too, we get in that rut after the holiday season, and we want something fresh. And, it's hard to, sometimes we go back to our normal stuff, whether it's decorating and, how can we spruce up, and why it's important to, kind of spruce up your home. Maybe use that as your trigger mark every year to do do a new project. So
Most certainly.
Yeah, I think the struggle is when you start looking at a home that you've lived in for a while. Sometimes it's hard to discern what to do,
right,
and it just looks like an enormous project,
right?
But it does not have to be at all.
Yeah.
Not everybody, needs a full-on kitchen remodel,
right?
And not everybody needs, bathroom. Those are
right.
the things that really consume your dollars,
right?
And so the key is to get a scope of work defined that you can manage, and then go to work looking at, well, what is it that I'm really trying to do here? Do I just need to lighten the colors? Do I need to take down the big heavy drapes?
Right.
Do I need to change out my window shades or shutters even? We like to have a lot more light in our homes now, and a lot more natural light, and kind of take away, we do a lot of editing, taking away some of the accessories and the old florals that have the big, feathers in them and the reds and the golds and so pick one area that you can start with and go to work just looking at how to lighten it up, how to make it more useful for you. The organization is key in that, and that can go a long way.
Yeah,
can go a long way. And I also think that as people look at, well, what could if I sold my house and I went to buy something newer, fresher, lighter,
right?
But ultimately, there are a lot of folks that don't want to leave the community that they're in and have known, and their friends and schools and churches and all of that. So that kind of pushes them back into looking at their own house in a different way.
Right.
And can I upgrade to have my home look more like the new builds, but within my community where I love to live?
Right. Definitely. I mean, I see a lot of people, and that's why they stayed in their homes. I'll use my parents as an example. My parents have been in their home since 1984. Yes, Mom and Dad. And my mom knows that date exactly. But, that was, over the years, their struggle is that everything was convenient. And then as they became, empty nesters, they were like, we don't need any more room. And then all our friends are here, everything that we know are just our day-to-day services, that, they've become, not just, these people haven't just become their services, they're friends, over the years. And so they don't want to leave that. So, doing those changes in their home and, bringing it up to date over the years, changing different things. I love the, lightening, it's kind of like lightening it up and kind of peeling back like an onion. You're kind of peeling the shells back and, just maybe getting rid of some of those, whether it's the coloring that you have, fresh paint. Paint I always tell people paint does
a miracle.
It does. It is the least expensive item to use and makes such an impact on everything. So I love, doing that. And I, it's just some of the fun new accessories that are out, just a little, interesting, bringing in some interesting things into your spaces can make a whole new change and outlook to the look.
I feel like there is more than ever to choose from. There's so much product. There's just so many ways to capture your personality or, and the feel that you want in your home. There's just always something.
Well, and I think too, how, decorating has trend, it's even just how everything, fashion, with everything goes. I mean, there is not really there used to be fine lines. I mean, even, if we go back to even when our parents were, being raised, there were fine lines of you can't do this, you can't do that. Even, white, wearing white, below the waist. There was, I remember going to college, and in our sorority guidebook, it said you cannot wear white after Labor Day. And there was a no-no. It was like you got to wear it or something. But now you can do, it's a trend. They have the winter whites, and and it goes fine. There's just no cut rule that you can't do. And I love that, making your home showcase your personality, a little bit, and really showing who you are, because that's your space.
I'm going to say 1980s was designed in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything had its place, as we're just talking about. Sofa, love seat, everything had to match.
Yes.
There was no thought behind it.
Right.
But, what I do miss, if we go back in that time, is how the furniture was made back then. It was tender, loving care. Now, everything's over in Europe.
Right.
Not Europe, but Vietnam, China, and everything is, I call it, rip and a dip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and no one really cares about the fine furniture anymore.
No.
It's all about price. And I would love to be able to educate people on why you should buy fine furniture if it's not from Mitchell Thompson, or it could be from another high-end store here in Dallas.
Right.
I just wish that people would stop going to these discount stores and throwing furniture in their house and wondering why it doesn't last no more than 2 or 3 years and they have to throw it out.
Yep. Because you can't even get rid of it. It's just
disposable.
Yes, it is, definitely.
It is.
Well, and I have some pieces that were I inherited from my mother-in-law, and I have these wing chairs, and those wing chairs, even though the fabric, it's on my list of to do. That's my goal
another
for
easy
that.
update. Just reupholster a good piece that you have.
But those chairs are fantastically made. Now, obviously the fabric is old and out of date, but those chairs are just fine pieces. I have a newer style that is, a newer, and the quality, it doesn't compare to the older one. I think those chairs were like done back in, I don't know, 80s. So just very nicely done pieces. So I see that. Even I'll get a piece and for my kids' rooms, and it's like broken the next but for them, that's different. It's disposable. That goes out to the driveway for garbage pickup.
Yes.
So now what we're seeing, let's talk about colors. We talked about paint as an easy update. So, and I know you said anything goes on it, but we've been so gray and monotoned. Let's talk about do we see some colors coming that are more protruding into our color schemes for 2020?
Well, I'm going to say wallpaper today is so amazing. It's not your mother's wallpaper.
Okay.
So if you wanted to accent a wall, along with whatever you pick in the wallpaper, the textures nowadays are awesome. It looks like an artist painted the wallpaper. So it's not, what would you call it, Diane?
Kind of just the flat printed paper that we were used to.
Yes.
It has more. It's more
ago.
of an art. It's more of an art wall versus that that wallpaper that we would look at. It was so busy. I remember flowers and birds
and green vines. Yes.
Ivy. Oh my goodness.
Yes. No.
I've seen a lot of that.
So you can use that to make, and that's an easy thing to do to update a room.
Oh, most certainly.
So. Just and add a little interest to it.
A lot of pop in the room.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's making my wheels turn on.
Yeah, and I would say there is still a love of blue.
I love it too.
And blue is, probably you'd have to look at a study somewhere, but blue is probably a favorite color of a lot of people, right?
Yes.
The majority of people. And it pairs very well with the taupes and the grays, Right. So I'd say that that's still something that you see in design.
Yeah, good, because I love blue.
But don't let that define you, because there are plenty of other options. I happen to be a fan of plums and purples and lilacs, and I don't, we don't have a lot of it in our home, but we have enough of it that I love to live around purple.
I know. Well, I get it. I love orange, and so I pop my blue with orange because it makes me happy. Right. And so it complements. I feel like blue
they
is
are very complementary colors. It's a gorgeous palette.
It's the new black.
There you go.
Well, we carry a about, I guess, a wall of about 5,000 fabrics when you walk into our studio.
Okay.
And, we get to see what's coming out, what colors. And I'd say about 6 months ago, we had a fabric company come in and said, the jewel tones are coming back in a big way. The other thing that's coming back is brass. But brass nowadays, I don't know if you've been out in the stores and looked around, brass is not your grandmother's or mother's brass.
Right.
It's just very rich looking, and I don't mind it now. Back then, I did.
Yes.
It's just very glossy.
Right.
It's just, again, it's really rich brass.
And with a kind of a matte texture.
The matte
which is
texture.
so much better than that bright brass of the 80s. Yeah.
Well, we have covered so much today. So we've got, we can still keep our blues, but we can add a little pop in it, some different, jewel tones in there. We've got brass out there too. So not your mother's brass, but the new brass. And wallpaper people. I mean, go, if you want to accent a wall, change up a room, wallpaper is great. Well, I'm going to put on my podcast, if my viewers want to get in touch with y'all, they are ready to get started. Y'all be able to get their contact information. They're located in West Plano, so easy and convenient, and their office studio is gorgeous. I mean, I would just move in. So, viewers, thank you so much, Roy and Diane. It was so fun. And viewers, I hope you enjoyed this segment. And cheers.
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 Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in to Community Cocktails with Kimberly. If you'd like to contact Kimberly with your real estate needs, you can reach her at kimberlywoodard.ebby.com. Hope you enjoyed our guests this week. Tune in every first and third Wednesday of the month for insights from industry leaders in your DFW area. Remember, don't just love your home, love your community.